Hey everyone, welcome back to PJ's Rustin' Busted Garage. This week we're going to put Camille back together and hopefully be able to take it down the road without getting everything, basically having all the problems we did with the fuel system. That actually wound up being a sealer that was put in there, and I actually found the original piece of paper in the parts tub that I got with Camille, and it was a POR 15 gas tank sealer, and unfortunately it don't look like they followed any of the instructions. What they did was basically poured it in there and let it set, because you could see where there was a big glob of it and then it ran around. So with a lot of work and probably about 150 gallons of good old cold water, I did finally I was able to get a hold of it and break it apart piece by piece, keep flushing it, get the pieces up there, and I did get it out. So gas tank is clean and ready to go. I already got the new sending unit in. I had a little issue with that because the one that I ordered has a bigger diameter fuel line coming out of the sending unit. So I actually had to get and it's a brake line piece because it's an inverted, flare. Yes, I'll get it eventually. But it was 5/8 by 20 with the inverted flare, and it goes down to what was stock in there, which was a 1/2 inch by 20 inverted flare. So I got that finally. I did have a lot of trouble, and some of this was my fault because I took a measuring tape, checked out the hole, and it looked like 7/8. I did it quick, went and got it. Well, that one fell in there, and I had to fish it out with my good old magnetic floppy tool. Thank goodness I was able to get that out. Then it looked like it was a 15/16. Well, guess what? Lo and behold, that freeze plug is a 15/16 that goes inside top side of your along your intake and everything, and that it is a 15/16. And I actually got it. It took me a little while to find it, but it is a Dorman. And the part number is 555-016, just in case anybody is needing those or getting ready to rebuild. Yeah, but it is a 15/16. So I got that all prepped, and I'm going to put that in first. I think my plan is to just go ahead and get the fuel tank in, and then I'm going to come up here and work on the intake. It is late Tuesday afternoon. I ran all day yesterday trying to get all the parts and everything I need to do this, so we may run out of time this week, but I'm going to try and get as much done as I can. So I'll catch you back here in a little bit. All right, so here we have it. Here's the fuel tank. This is the new sending unit I got. I do use it was always called shellac. Now I use this Permatex high-tack gasket sealant. It's basically the same thing. It helps hold everything in place while you're trying to maneuver stuff around, and you coat one side and then one side of your gasket or seal, whatever you're using, and then of course on this the other side, and it helps hold it and it helps seal up any little small imperfections. But I've got it all ready to go, and as you can see, I had to get that adapter that I was talking to you about. I'm going to put some thread sealant on that and get it all up in there nice and tight and ready to go, and go ahead and put the fuel tank in. So we'll be back here in a little while. Okay, so that didn't take us very long, and she's all back up in there nice and tight and sealed up, so we are good there. Now we're going to head up here, and I'm going to start getting worked on this. Now, I did go ahead and put the freeze plug in, so it's set up and ready to go. And I've got this side cleaned up. I'm getting ready to shellac and put my gasket on it and let it set for a little bit while I'm cleaning this one up, and do the same on that. So we'll catch you back here a little bit, and I should have the valley pan installed. So I did get some rubber washers for the bolts that go into the valley pan. That way we don't have to worry about anything else leaking down in there. And of course the thread sealant and the gaskets. So I'll catch you back here in a little bit. Okay, so for those that have not used shellac before or know what I'm talking about, it's basically a tacky, and you can see, I mean, it pulls. Call it gasket glue if you will, but it holds everything in place. And I always put bolts back in, like on my far corners, to make sure that gasket doesn't, fall down or slope a little bit, and then you just go around and you push it down and you let that sit for a while. You want to get it set up as much as possible. But as you can see, I mean, this bolt here had come out, stud had come out anyway, so I did put it back in just enough right now. All I wanted to do is to be able to set that gasket in place, and then, like I said, you just go around and push it down, make sure there's no bubbles or anything, and it helps seal it. My uncles, my great uncles in the shop used this forever and always had good luck with it, and I was learned to use it, so when I have it around, I use it. So that's where we're at on that one. I'm going to go ahead and get that one done, and yeah, should be back here shortly. I might go ahead and get that valley pan gasket put in there while this here is still good and tacky. So be back in a little bit. Okay, so we're back. It's been about 15, maybe 20 minutes at that. Everything's setting up. As you can see, I got the new valley pan gasket in there, and thank goodness it came with that because the other one didn't have anything in it. So yeah, I'm gonna let that set up just a little bit. I'm gonna get my intake prepped, and my valley pan and the bolts. I'm just getting everything ready. And then I'll start putting everything on while this here's all setting up. It's looking good. There's no bubbles. Everything's holding like it's supposed to. So next time we come back, should have the valley pan on at least. And then we'll do the intake. See you guys back in a minute. Okay, so here we are. Got the valley pan all in there nice and snug. You can see those rubber washers are doing what they're supposed to. They're kind of concave, so whenever you get them down good and tight, they flatten out and form a nice tight seal. This here's all set up nice. It doesn't want to move, so it's time to set the intake on there. I got her all nice and clean, wiped down. I am not going to shellac this side. There's no reason to. The main reason behind that, yes, it's a gasket sealer. But on this side, I'm just going to let the gasket do its job and seal. So, you know what? No, I was always taught do it both sides. So, yeah, I'm going to do it. So, yeah, we'll be back in a little bit. Hopefully, the intake will be on. Hey, guys, so here we are. She's all put back together. Intake's been torqued down to 40 foot-pounds in the correct sequence, which turns out to be your center here. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then over here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So, pretty easy. Nothing too hard. So she's back down on the ground. I've got some oil dry that I've got to get cleaned up from whenever I had it down there for catching antifreeze and whatnot that came out, so it wasn't all over the shop. I'm going to roll the car back a little more and get that all cleaned up, get her up, and change the oil. And I got, I believe, 5 gallons of gas. Oh, I almost forgot. One of the most important things. I got to get that back in there. Get some antifreeze in it. Get the fuel line hooked back up. Yeah, and we'll see what happens. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so you guys can see what we got going on here. Yeah, antifreeze, oil. Yep. So We're going to drain that. And then I'll get back to you. Hey, so we're back. So I don't know how a lot of you guys do it. I've seen other people do it hundreds and thousands of different ways. Whenever I got something like this going on in it, whether I've got something down in there that shouldn't be, you know, whether it's you've had the engine apart and you've been cleaning it and you change the oil. I've heard of people using kerosene diesel, mineral spirits, gasoline. I mean, I've heard of all kinds of things to run through there, but the problem is some of that stuff is not going to evaporate. It's just going to mix with whatever oil and stuff's down there is left. And then especially on these older engines, the last thing you want to do is run some kind of major cleaner through there and like a motor flush. That's the fastest way to lock your engine up, because it will plug that oil pump screen up quicker, than Doodie. So, all I ever do is I always run cheap oil or something I've got around. Like this time I just bought an extra gallon of the oil that I'm using, which is that Valvoline VR1 20W50 race oil, because it's got the high zinc in it. The engine looked good whenever I was looking in there, so I want to keep it that way. Excuse me, guys. So what I do is I just dump an extra quart of that down in there, and I sit and I watch as it drains down until I see nothing but brand new, nice, clean oil coming out. Once I see that, then I'm fine. I go ahead and I just put the bolt back in, the plug, and tighten it down, and I know I'm ready. So that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and put my antifreeze and my oil in it, check everything, and then I got to put some fuel in the back end and double check all my stuff. I did get that thermostat put back in and tightened down. So I'm just going to go through and check everything before I even try to fire it. And I'll see you back in a little bit. Just letting her warm up and get all the fluids all circulated around in her, and then I'll shut her off, check everything, and see how she's doing. Be back. Okay, guys, so we're gonna try this again. I checked the fluids, everything seems to be in our operating area. The only thing is I noticed and my gas gauge, I put 5 gallons in it. This is supposed to be a 10-gallon tank. To me, that should be closer to half, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to put you guys here, and I'm going to try to keep from knocking you guys off of there. I don't have a mount or anything yet, so it's going to be touch and go with you guys, keeping you up. And we're going to take Camille down the road. See what happens this time. I don't think that shifting rod, downshift rod's hooked up completely correct yet, but I'm not too worried about that. Not going to get on her hard or anything right now. I just want to be able to take her down the road a little ways. about that, guys. But hey, it happens, I guess. Oh, how did I have you guys sit here? Yeah. Stuff that needs to be adjusted, worked on, so we're just taking it easy. Get her up to the fourth gear. There she is. Oh, gotcha. Tell you what, I'm going to be doing this. I guess I need to invest in a car now, something. Oh, you guys know how long I've waited for this. She ain't complete, but she is moving under her own power. Need to give a big shout out to Craig for the transmission, the correct drive shaft, all his knowledge. If it wasn't for him, I guarantee you that motor and transmission would have been pulled, and who knows what would be in there right now. Craig, if you're watching, thank you, man. I appreciate it. You don't know how much. Woo! Y'all, we're driving her. Oh. One more step closer to Iola Car Show and No Name Nationals. That's right, you guys. I registered for No Name Nationals. Don't know what shape she'll be in to go down the strip, but you know what? I don't mind taking a cruise down the strip just to say she did it. Maybe she'll be tuned in a little bit by then, you know. Who knows what we'll have. Yeah. Awesome. Man, it feels so good. The sad part is I feel less bumps in the road in this with worn out shocks than I do in my newer vehicles. Ain't that crazy? She just glides, floats. And there's a feeling you just can't, you'll never know unless you're out there doing it. So, go out, get you an old hot rod, build it how you want, and enjoy it. Because there is no other feeling like it. I guess if you had 400 or 500 horses under the hood, the old barn there, there'd be a little bit different feeling there too. But I think I'm happy with what I've got right now. I've got another 56 that I am planning on making just mean and nasty, and she's going to be a burnout machine, run down the drag strip. No, I don't plan on making big numbers and being competitive. It's more for fun and enjoyment than anything. So shifting through all the gears, she's staying strong. Brakes are working good. Listen to her purr. Oh, let me get out of here. Oh, get you guys adjusted here so I can say a few words. Yeah, she's got a little bit of an oil leak yet, and I know what it is. It's the old gaskets in here on the valves, and this old radiator cap is causing that. I'm not worried about that. I know where that's coming from. That's just the excess pushing through there right now. So, yeah, that is not a big deal. I don't have any up here. She's not missing. She's not making any weird noises. I actually think she's actually running better because I had to adjust the air and fuel mixture. Less fuel, less air, because I think the old gaskets were probably leaking. I don't know. So, yeah. So I guess for this week, we're going to wrap it up. I got more stuff that I need to do. Valve cover gaskets, and I do know. Hold on, guys. So I'm not fiddling around with you. Give me just a second. Okay, so other than I got you in there crooked. All right, so she runs, she drives, she stops, she starts. She's not leaking fuel. Don't know what's going on with that float. Everything's put in there. It's in there correctly. I mean, it could be the wrong ohms that it's reading. I don't know. I know I'm not that worried about it. If I drive her long distances, she'll get filled up. If that doesn't work, it doesn't work right now. I'll keep an extra fuel tank in the trunk, something to get me down the road a little farther to the next gas station, whatever. She'll probably, well, I can't say she'll never, but she probably won't see interstate for a while. It'll be mostly back roads and highways and stuff like that, so you can actually go through the towns and enjoy the scenery. Other than that, I'm still want to go through the bearings on the front. I have got the floor pan to put in. And on this side, that side, the passenger side, I'm still planning on patching. I still got to clean my hood and bring the paint back on it. So I got to finish doing my paint revivals, and I still got to wax and seal her. But right now she sits in here, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, man, I am stoked. I got to run her and drive her, guys. That is crazy. It's been a road. Let's get you turned around here, and we'll look at the. There she is. She is beautiful, and she going down the road on her own. Ah, so yeah, I got a fire lit under my butt now. We'll get them bearings done. I got to get tires yet for it. That's just a throw on because that one had come apart. Got to get the hood done. She's sitting over here in the corner so she don't get dinged, dented, or bent or anything like that. Get it cleaned up, put back on, get all my lights working. That's the way they're supposed to be. Definitely going to have to figure out some lenses. That's unfortunate, but, it is what it is. And, yeah. And then start taking her for short cruises from here to Effingham, from here to Dietrich, Newton, just drive her locally for right now. That way, if something does happen or go wrong, I'm not too far from home. I've either got friends or buddies that can come pick me up, or I can come back, get my trailer, and load her up if need be. But just test her out a little at a time until we're ready to make a 7.5, 8-hour drive to the Iola Car Show this year. Well, that's something I really, really want to make. The theme is the 50s, and she's definitely qualified. So I'm going to let her cool down. I'll check fluids, things like that. see, make sure everything looks good after that little bit of a drive. I know the oil's going to be a little low, and that's fine. I know I've got a valve cover or leaks, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I'm just going to go through it a little bit, and then I'll start getting figured out bearings that I need for the front and get that done. I know the brakes are good. Interior work, this and that. I think my largest hurdle right now is over. I really do. I hope and I pray you guys do it right along with me. I can use all the help I can get. So, yeah, we'll see. Yep, she's still full. Yeah, I'm checking the radiator. It's just stuff in my head right now. So, all right, guys. So, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful week, and enjoy it. Get out there, work on your old cars, your projects, whatever you've got. Get out there and enjoy them. Get them going down the road. And for all you that's working for No Name Nationals, hope to see you there again. Put a comment down there in the bottom. If I haven't subscribed to you, I will sub you and get you to that 500. I will help you. If you haven't subbed to the channel, I would appreciate it. We got a lot of different builds coming up. As soon as I get done with Camille, Camille is first right now. That's all there is to it. And then we've got her brother. He's gonna be Taz. I'm calling him the Tasmanian Devil because he's gonna be mean and nasty. That's all there is to it. I do have a couple of different engine setups that I possibly could be putting in there. Both of them 450, 500 horse. I'm hoping. Well, 400 to 450, 500. So it should be fun. And I still got my rat rod build, and yeah, I'm still working on other possibilities. So like and subscribe and leave a comment down there. You guys all have a good one. And remember, rusted or busted, you guys can make it happen. And guys, in Rust, we trust.